Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is a school where students are paired at random to live together as married couples and are forced to get along to graduate. Students whose score fall below 0 will fail and be expelled from the academy. Shiori Sakurazaka, a girl from a temple town, and her classmate, Akari, meet at the temple. Akari is embarrassed to be seen there and runs away, while Shiori makes a wish before heading to school. In class, Jirou Yakuin and his best friend, Sadaharu Kamo, talk about video games and Jirou's crush on Shiori. They notice Akari and her group passing by. Akari mocks Jirou and Sadaharu for blocking the stairs but talks sweetly to her crush, Minami Tenjin, surprising the two boys. The bell rings and the students prepare for the pair announcements. The entire class will be split into couples who will pretend to be married for a few months. This is a practical experiment to prepare them for the real world. Shiori wishes her childhood friend Jirou good luck in finding a partner. Jirou secretly hopes to be paired with Shiori, but he doesn't let her know. Shiori, on the other hand, would like to be paired with someone she knows and feels comfortable with. The homeroom teacher explains the rules. Each student will be paired with someone of the opposite sex, and they will have separate rooms for privacy. The couple's scores will determine their success in the experiment, which also contributes to their final academic score. Jirou's luck takes a turn for the worse when he is paired with Akari, while Shiori is paired with Minami. Akari is angry about their pairing and starts mocking Jirou for being inexperienced. As Akari and Jirou argue, their score quickly decreases from 0 to -3. Akari proposes a plan to Jirou. If they can achieve a rank, they can switch partners as the rulebook allows. Additionally, the couple's scores will be added individually to the new partner's scores. Jirou is hesitant about getting in a rank with Akari because it would mean being extremely romantic with her. Akari tries to convince Jirou and acts coy, which improves her score. Still unsure, Jirou goes outside to get a drink. Seeing Shiori and Minami walking together, Jirou becomes angry and mopes in his room. Akari tries to cheer him up and Jirou reconsiders her plan, agreeing to score well for their mutual benefit. Sadaharu arrives to pick up Jirou, and Akari insists Jirou give her a goodbye kiss before leaving with his friend. Jirou, unable to think clearly with Sadaharu waiting, kisses Akari on the lips before rushing outside. After Jirou leaves, Akari is embarrassed and claims she never intended for the kiss to be on the lips. Meanwhile, Jirou is flustered after the kiss, but it resets their score back to 0. Later, Jirou dreams about Shiori waking him up with a kiss, but it's actually Akari scolding him for not helping with household chores. A week passes and Jirou sees Shiori and Minami walking to school together. The homeroom teacher wants to meet Akari and Jirou after school. Jirou feels down about Shiori and Minami getting along while he struggles with Akari as his partner. As they leave school, Jirou tells Akari about the meeting with their teacher. Akari refuses to join him as she has plans for karaoke with her friends and Minami. Unexpectedly, Shiori shows up and waits with Jirou because she forgot her umbrella. She hugs Jirou suddenly, alarming him, and explains that she is afraid of bugs and saw one on the window. Jirou remembers Shiori hugging Minami earlier and wonders if the bug was the reason for their closeness. Shiori suggests that Jirou call her by her first name as they did when they were younger. Just as Jirou is about to do so, Minami arrives with an umbrella to pick up Shiori. Jirou tells the couple that he'll be fine waiting alone and asks Shiori to go back with Minami. Meanwhile, Akari waits outside with an umbrella for Jirou. They share the umbrella on their way home, and Akari encourages Jirou not to give up. In their room, Akari tries to improve their score by cooking a delicious omelette for dinner. Jirou offers Akari a bite, and after some playful bickering, Akari takes the bite from his spoon. They become close and are about to kiss when Jirou gets distracted by a phone call. Both Jirou and Akari are confused about their strangely pounding hearts after the almost kiss. The next day, Akari wakes Jirou up from a dream where he was about to kiss Shiori. She asks him to stay the night with her because she's scared from watching a horror movie. Jirou is surprised but agrees to help his partner. Jirou wonders why Akari watched a scary movie if she gets scared easily. Akari explains that watching horror films together earns them points. Jirou turns off the TV since Akari is too scared. Akari surprises Jirou with matching pajamas for them to wear. She starts changing right in the living room and asks Jirou not to look. Suddenly, the power goes out, leaving Akari shocked. She hugs Jirou and he feels her breasts, which surprises him. Jirou tries to calm down and focuses on comforting Akari, who is scared. Using his phone's flashlight, Jirou tries to help, but Akari asks him not to look at her since she had been crying. She asks Jirou to sit close and tell her a story to distract her. Jirou tells another horror story, making Akari even more scared. Akari lights a candle with a sweet smell, given by Natsume, and starts falling asleep. Jirou hugs Akari and calls her cute, surprising himself with his words. After a week, the grades are out, and Jirou learns that he and Akari have jumped from E to B grades. Akari tells him that Shiori and Minami got an E grade, which is bad for them. If couples who want to switch partners don't have high grades, they won't be able to switch. Jirou worries about Shiori and wonders why she scored low. At school, Shiori tells Mai that she wasn't comfortable with Minami. She preferred being paired with a friend because she has trouble talking to strangers. Shiori explains that her difficulty in communicating with Minami caused her low score. Meanwhile, Jirou falls sick and stays home. Akari texts him, saying she's going out with her friends. Jirou feels disappointed as he wanted Akari to take care of him. Shiori visits Jirou's house to take care of him since Akari told her he was unwell. Shiori explains that she wants to repay Jirou for taking care of her in the past. Jirou thanks Akari silently and allows Shiori to care for him. Shiori makes porridge for Jirou to feel better. Jirou recalls their last meeting when Shiori had moved away temporarily. He regrets not confessing his feelings to her. Shiori brings the porridge to Jirou's room, but he's too excited and decides to eat it himself, only to regret it later. Jirou and Shiori talk about Shiori's poor grade on the marriage practical assignment. Shiori admits feeling uncomfortable around Minami and thinks it would have been better if Jirou had been her partner. Jirou tries to encourage her but fails and retreats to his bed. Shiori cleans the dishes and prepares to leave. Before saying goodbye, she notices that Jirou is asleep. She contemplates kissing him but decides against it and leaves. Akari's friends warn her that letting Shiori stay with Jirou is a bad idea because Shiori might steal him from Akari. Shiori also remembers their last conversation before she moved away, where she wanted to confess her feelings for Jirou. She had stumbled and said she only wanted to be friends, but she actually liked him a lot. The next morning, Jirou thanks Akari for sending Shiori to take care of him. He promises to help Akari find a partner she loves instead of settling for him. Akari is happy but says she doesn't like how it sounds. The next day, Akari prepares a meal for Jirou and asks him if Shiori is good at cooking. Jirou jokes about Akari not being the type to make home-cooked meals. Akari wants to impress Minami and asks Jirou to help her. She wants Jirou to be her sous chef and taste tester while she makes a lunchbox for Minami. Jirou enjoys the delicious meals and their score keeps improving as they get along well. Jirou tastes the rolled omelette Akari made and suggests it should be sweeter. Akari dismisses his comment, saying it's not for him, but for Minami. The next day, Sadaharu is amazed by the meals Jirou brings to school while his own partner doesn't cook well. As the boys chat about Jirou living with a popular girl, Akari suddenly appears and asks Jirou to praise her lunchbox. When Jirou mentions the rolled omelette, they start arguing. Sadaharu sits awkwardly, feeling old. The next morning, Akari makes the final lunchbox for Minami and gives Jirou a taste of the rolled omelette. Jirou realizes it's still not sweet and feels hurt that Akari is making a meal for someone she likes. Akari dresses up in a pretty outfit and Jirou realizes she never did that for him. Akari is nervous and asks Jirou to kiss her goodbye just like before to calm her nerves. Jirou is shocked, but before he can give in, the doorbell rings. Shiori is at the door, bringing apple pies to share with the couple. Shiori mentions that she cooks delicious things for Minami, who has a sweet tooth. Akari becomes disheartened and decides not to give her lunchbox to Minami. Shiori hopes that Jirou enjoys the pie she made. Jirou tries to cheer up Akari and suggests she try other ways to impress Minami. Akari feels terrible about herself and Jirou tries to boost her confidence by complimenting her figure. He mentions sleeping with her but starts to panic when he realizes what he said. Akari straddles Jirou on the couch and asks if he's thought about being intimate with her. Jirou panics and stops her, saying that sex should be with someone you love. He reminds Akari that she has Minami, and Akari says Jirou also has Shiori. She decides to end the pretense of being a married couple. Akari spends more time with friends and in her room, while Jirou withdraws and plays video games. In the second week, Minami and Shiori jump to an A grade, while Akari and Jirou fail with an E grade. Sadaharu asks Jirou if everything is okay, and Shiori asks to speak with Jirou alone. They go to the school rooftop, and Shiori tries to cheer him up. Jirou returns home and talks to Akari. He apologizes for how things ended that night and admits that he did fantasize about being with her but stopped because he didn't want her to regret it. Jirou hopes to rebuild their relationship and asks Akari to be cordial as a married couple again. Akari laughs at Jirou's innocence and agrees to work together to improve their score, which has dropped back to 0. That night, Akari reflects on how she casually told Jirou that she likes him during their conversation. During the sports period, Akari and her friends discuss their ranks and partners. Jirou, feeling jealous, watches as both Shiori and Akari are captivated by Minami's basketball skills. Sadaharu adds to Jirou's jealousy by informing him that Minami has declared he will never switch partners. Saki tells Akari the same thing, making her think about what the future holds. Sadaharu suggests that Minami and Shiori might end up getting married to each other. Jirou imagines a fight between himself and Minami, where he ends up with both Akari and Shiori, while Jirou himself is left empty-handed. After school, Shiori talks to Jirou about their ranks. She says she's unsure about switching partners unless Jirou also has a rank. Just as Jirou is about to confirm, Sadaharu rushes in and tells him that he saw Akari making out with Minami. It turns out that Akari was punished for talking during the game and was sent to the storage room. When a box of sports items almost fell on her, Minami rushed to save her. Akari realized her heart still raced when she was around him. Akari had asked Minami if he planned on staying with Shiori forever, and he had said he would. This hurt Akari, and she started crying. Since Minami saw her crying, Akari lied and said she had something in her eye. Minami was just helping her clean her eye when Sadaharu misunderstood and misrepresented the situation. Minami and Akari find Sadaharu talking to Jirou about them, and the situation becomes tense with Shiori nearby. Minami leads Shiori back to class, and Akari walks past Jirou without saying a word. In class, Sadaharu shares the incident in the storage room with the others, and Jirou is heartbroken, but tries to act as if it doesn't bother him. Jirou returns home and tries to congratulate Akari for kissing Minami. Akari clarifies what actually happened, and Jirou feels embarrassed about his jealousy. Akari starts teasing Jirou, but ends up crying because Minami is sure he will never switch partners. Seeing her cry, Jirou embraces her to calm her down. Akari sobs her heart out. That evening, Jirou regrets hugging her, thinking she wouldn't have liked it. However, Akari behaves differently, calling Jirou by his first name and wearing one of his t-shirts after showering. Akari sits close to him and reveals that he was her first kiss. She also admits she is a virgin. Jirou is completely shocked by this revelation and freezes despite feeling happy about the information. The next day, Jirou leaves for school early because he has class duties. Akari comes out to say goodbye, straightens his tie, and hugs him before he leaves. Jirou wishes that Akari would do these things genuinely instead of just for the practical assignment. In class, Jirou sees Shiori already there. Shiori mentions that she's filling in for Mei and will be Akari's partner. Jirou is excited to be paired up with Shiori for something. Meanwhile, Akari is teased by her friends in the cafeteria for being in love with Jirou. In class, Jirou struggles to have a proper conversation with Shiori. Akari sees Jirou and Shiori in the classroom and notices how happy Jirou looks. Shiori backs out of confessing her feelings to Jirou, and Jirou regrets not having the courage to tell Shiori that he likes her. Jirou is standing on the balcony of his apartment when Akari brings out 2 cups of hot milk for them. Jirou reminisces about his past when he didn't confess his feelings to Shiori. Akari teases Jirou about spending time alone with Shiori. Jirou tries to talk about Minami when Akari suddenly asks him to call her by her first name. She mentions that Jirou had no trouble calling Shiori by her first name, but Jirou claims it's different with Akari. Akari mocks Jirou, but he doesn't fall for it. Akari explains how her name gives her a sense of empowerment when someone calls her by her first name. Jirou tries calling her by her name and admits that it suits her. Akari is touched by Jirou's words and says that he should call her by her first name too, as it seems like she's the only one in love with him if he doesn't. Jirou takes a moment to process what Akari said, and she quickly retreats to her bedroom. Jirou is certain that Akari must have slipped up because there's no way she's in love with him. Akari, on the other hand, worries about what she said to Jirou. The next day, the teacher announces a special test for the class. The scores of each student's test will be combined with their partner's score. Couples will have to study together. Jirou worries because his grades are below average. He realizes that he has never seen Akari study, and true to his assumption, she has no interest in academics. She plans to go to the karaoke bar with her friends. Jirou convinces Akari to cancel the plan and study with him at home. After some pleading, Akari agrees. Jirou tries to get Akari to focus on studying, but it's not easy. Akari teases Jirou and flirts with him, but he manages to help her solve a math problem. Akari is excited about learning and starts calling Jirou sensei teacher, asking if it makes his heart race. Jirou feels awkward but says he doesn't mind the title. Akari wants to one-up Jirou and starts hugging him. Things escalate and Jirou ends up straddling Akari on the couch. Just as they are about to kiss, Akari notices that Jirou has a nosebleed. Later, Jirou tells Akari that he was so insistent on scoring well on the test because he doesn't consider himself as smart as the other students. He didn't want to hold Akari back from being paired up with Minami, but Akari thinks about how she doesn't want things to change between her and Jirou. Mai, Shiori's friend, confronts a female student who has feelings for her and clarifies that she's not interested in girls. Akari comes home while Jirou is about to take a shower and barges into the bathroom to share the good news. They are in 8th place and can soon switch partners. The excitement fades when Akari notices Jirou's half-naked state. After Jirou finishes showering, they have a conversation and Jirou realizes that Akari keeps calling him by his last name because he hasn't called her by her first name. He decides to give it a try. Surprisingly, it works and the two start using each other's first names. It's amusing how they're in a committed relationship, but haven't been on a first-name basis. Anime, I guess. While in the courtyard with Shiori, Mei tries to persuade her to put more effort into her relationship with Jirou because he and Akari might have already gone too far. Suddenly, a soccer ball hits Shiori and knocks her out. Shiori goes to the nurse's office to recover. Mei meets Jirou in the hallway and informs him about what happened. She tells him to go visit Shiori and gives him some sandwiches and water to take with him. Mei is a good friend. Jirou visits Shiori in the nurse's office. She asks him to help her practice kissing since she hasn't kissed Minami yet. Jirou agrees, but just as they are about to kiss, Shiori pulls away. At the same time, one of Akari's friends enters the nurse's office and sees 2 people on the bed. She doesn't recognize them, but notices the male and female shoes. She jumps to the conclusion that something unholy is happening. When Akari's friend tells her that she saw 2 people doing something inappropriate in the nurse's office, Akari realizes it must be Shiori and Jirou. Disappointed by the situation, she goes home. She finds Jirou passed out on the couch. Apparently, he ate some chocolate with whiskey in it. Everyone seems to be passing out in this episode, I guess. Akari feels extremely jealous of Jirou and Shiori. In her underwear, she lies down beside Jirou and falls asleep in his arms. Jirou wakes up confused and possibly hungover from the chocolate. He sees Akari half naked and wakes her up. She plays a prank on him to confirm whether he actually had intercourse with Shiori. Shiori becomes increasingly jealous of Jirou, especially as they get closer to swapping partners. Meanwhile, Akari starts revealing her feelings for Jirou. It will be interesting to see how everything unfolds once they actually switch partners, if they ever do. Hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe. Comment for more recap videos.